Oops. All right. We are. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. That's better. All right. We're back in the game with the Devil May Cry, or I've been calling it Flix May Try, uh, season finale. That was the planned content for today, but I haven't really been keeping up with the. Oh, what's going on here? Properties. Okay, here we go. I haven't really been keeping up with gaming news, and so apparently there's an Xbox like game showcase that's happening like at the exact same time that I'm streaming. So screw it, whatever. Through just pure serendipity, I just happened to schedule my stream right when the Xbox game showcase started. So I decided to kind of pivot into that. So I mean, what I got going on right now is you'll see the little display like right here. Um, got a little bit of a picture going. So I'm just gonna do what I was normally gonna do, and just like I'll just kind of keep an eye out for what's going on down here. I got pulled up on my drawing pad, so I got OBS here. I got my videos and stuff that I'm gonna stream here, and then I've got the Xbox game showcase down here on the drawing pad. And I'll just keep an eye out, see if anything interesting shows up. Probably not. I don't exactly have like high expectations for this. Um, but yeah, I kind of forgot it, and it keeps repeatedly like slipping my mind. Is that this is like even though there is no E3 anymore, it's like E3 season. So uh, everybody just kind of does their own little homespun version of E3 with like the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase and State of Play, you know. And I guess I don't pay too much attention to it anymore because honestly, I just don't have the money or the equipment or the interest to like really get invested in all this like flashy AAA gaming stuff. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know. I guess I thought I'd start by just real quick, like checking out the couple trailers that I saw that actually kind of caught my eye. Hold on, no, hold on. I hate the way we make something full screen. It automatically tries to play. So let's get rid of this and this, and try and make this a little more visible, just a little bit more, not too much more. Excuse me. And yeah. So, but actually, before I even dig into that, you know, I thought I'd just go ahead and say real quick that I'm just gonna like touch base with what's going on here at the production house. So, uh, first off, like against my own wishes, I've gone ahead and invested in a very expensive new power supply because when I first like fire up my rig in the morning, there's like a half hour of all of my fans just kind of like sputtering really bad. Almost like they're not getting enough power. They're just like very stop and start, and it's very, very noisy. And as far as I can tell, there's nothing wrong with the fans. They seem to spin just fine. I think it's really just, hopefully, it's just the power supply, right? I mean, replacing fans isn't that expensive, but you still don't want to do it. So I don't know. Of course, then again, I'm very overdue for bringing my rig in for a big fix. I know I was supposed to do it last week, but I got just too caught up in my own little odds and ends. I've been very, very invested in, big secret art project that's gonna change the direction of the channel. Assuming it works, assuming everything goes according to plan. Uh, People who have been paying attention to things I've been saying can probably kind of piece together what I've got planned, but for now I won't give away too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I've been trying to clean up around here. I mean, it's still very much a work in progress, but whatever. I don't even know what we're looking at. This looks like some sort of Gears game down here. So I want to check this out. So, for folks who don't know, we are big Shadow of the Colossus fans around here. Love it. I played it obsessively. I mean, PS2, if I were to fire up my PS2 right now and look at my save files, I'd have like a new game plus, like not even joking, like new game plus 12, something like that, where I've just played it obsessively to the point that my health bar goes all the way across the screen. It's like a boss health bar now. Maybe even bigger than the boss health bar. And the stamina meter is now so big that you can't even see it anymore. Stamina is almost limitless. And then I played the remake, and I got pretty disappointed. I mean, it's definitely got these superior particle effects and like higher res textures, HD polygon counts, smoother frame rate, but that's all stuff that you'd expect. The lighting, though, I mean, I don't know. It is called Shadow of the Colossus, so you would expect the shading to be really good, but it's just kind of not. I in terms of functionality, being able to just new game plus into hard mode is a big deal. Being able to just pick and choose like that is really good. Otherwise, you'd have to start over and then new game plus your way up to where you build up strength in that. That's the way the PS2 game was. And it was just really annoying. It made getting all the treasures really annoying as well. But the big stinker was they introduced like these new little collectibles. Like just little itty bitty shinies, 88 of them's like scrambled all across the map that you get, so you can get like a big extra thing. But every time you pick them up, there's about like a 1/3 chance that the game is just going to crash. And this game is very old school. It does not really do checkpointing. And it's not always a short walk to your last save point. So there was a lot of just trying to pick something up, crashing, starting over at the save point, walking all the way back to where I just was, and then trying to pick it up again. Hopefully I don't run into another crash. And this was not on launch day, by the way. I picked this game up like a year after it launched. So plenty of time for them to pick up on and thereafter sort out all of the bugs. But they didn't do that, which comes off as immensely lazy. And furthermore, It's also just sad that at the end of it all, when you get all the stuff, all you really get is just you just get another super sword. Like it is functionally identical to the Queen's sword, which you almost certainly have already gotten by the time you have gotten the 88 shinies. I mean, a prerequisite for getting them is you have to get the parachute, which puts you already like 75% of the way to getting the Queen's sword. So by the time you finally get the other super sword, it's like it's almost like a reskin of a thing that you've already gotten. Um, and I'm always just a little wary of like remake stuff that add stuff that could potentially have like lore implications, like the idea that there's a secret chamber under the spoilers for what the like secret thing is, but like the secret chamber under the Shrine of Worship that has what they call the Sword of Dormin, and it's like the dark evil sword. Like I don't know, man. Uh, like as much as I rail against Final Fantasy VII Remake, even that tiny little bit that they add in remake feels like a liberty that I'm not entirely sure I'm comfortable with. I mean, if it were me, if it were me, because I'm crazy, um, my idea for like a big extra thing would be actually like giving the definitive intended Shadow of the Colossus experience and bringing back all of those crazy cut colossi. Because they were like, you you hear about it and you see it, and it's just absolutely mind blowing the things that they had in mind. I'm trying to remember all of them because it was 16 of them, right? But it was originally supposed to be 22. So that's, yeah, that's 6 extra colossi. There was like a big, like, evil tapeworm. There was like a gargoyle. There was a firebird. There was a giant spider. Um, there was like a monkey creature, and I don't remember what the sixth one was. But I mean, they just looked and sounded epic, and it would have been great to get that back now that they've kind of they had the time. they they could have polished that content off and made it playable. That would have been nice, but no, they just left it cut. So I don't know. I felt like the Shadow of the Colossus remake was an underachievement. And I played Eco, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this guy calls it Echo, but I mean, it was okay. The atmosphere is just exquisite, right? Absolutely perfect. But like in terms of gameplay, like the fact that most of it is one big escort mission. Like escort missions are famously annoying in any game because it's you just can't trust the NPC to know what they're doing. I mean, there's a reason why NPC is an insult now, right? And then finally, when it gets to the game where you don't have the escort anymore, which is like the last like 10%, you also lose the ability to save. So if you get wrecked, that's like a massive chunk of the game that you have to do over. I don't know. I personally would have preferred a remake of Eco that just kind of fine tunes a lot of what was stinky about that game. I really could have used way more save points in that last 10% of the game, and a little bit of a polished uh, escort aspect. because there are points where you have to get really, really far away from your escort. And then, of course, that's when the monsters come out and try to steal her away from you. And if you don't make it in time, instant game over. That's tough. And then the Last Guardian came out, and that was one of, like, that was part of, like, the great vaporware era where people were waiting for all sorts of games to come out. You know, Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, just tons and tons of stuff. People they waited for the longest time because Shadow of the Colossus was just so hot. It is widely considered to be one of, like, the absolute most exquisite classics and great examples of games as an art form ever. But then when The Last Guardian finally came out, it was actually kind of pretty lukewarm. Like, it wasn't a flop, it wasn't a disaster, it just sort of quietly came out, and then no one ever really talked about it or thought about it ever again. And I played it, start to finish, but there were really two problems with it, and I talked to my best friend Jaron about it. It comes down to two things. One thing is that there's not a lot of cohesion in terms of puzzle design. Like, instead of having, like, a toolkit and going into a situation and then just sort of organically figuring out what to do, it just feels like very, very tailor-made every time you go in. It's just, you got to do this one specific thing, this one specific way, or you're not making any progress. And that was irksome. But maybe not as irksome as the decision to, for some reason, they decided to have enemies in a game that had no real combat engine. That didn't really make any sense to me. Some sort of Persona 4 thing. By the way, just to take a break from what I'm talking about the little showcase, I have tried Persona 4 once, and I honestly thought it was downright horrible. Like, one of the worst games I've ever played. Like, a lot of it is just a lot of just jibber jabber, just talking and talking and talking and talking and wandering around and not actually doing much exciting. And I couldn't get into it. I did not care for the non-combat part. And then you get to the combat part, and it feels very feast and famine. Either you are in control and you can just bully the enemies with their weakness, because every time you like hit them with their weakness, you get a free turn. Or it is the most ridiculous bosses you've ever seen. I think it was maybe like the second or third boss or something like that. It's the part where you're trying to get Yukiko, right? Yukiko has not yet joined your team. And there was just this one boss that could kill you in one hit. And it didn't really make any sense to me. I mean, I guess maybe I just played it wrong. Maybe I was supposed to, like, because there's this aspect where you, like, synthesize new powers or abilities or whatever. You can, like, meld personas together to make other better personas or something like that. And maybe I just didn't play with that enough. But, you know, at the same time, when you are balls deep in a dungeon and, like, it has been far too long since your last save point and you really don't want to walk all the way back, that's just, like, come on, that just sucks. I don't want to get all the way to the end of the dungeon only to find out, whoops, I don't get to complete this dungeon because I'm not good enough. So I got to go back and hash out this system that I can only interact with, like, in this one specific space that is not in the dungeon that I'm currently in. So that was really annoying and discouraging. It's just, I don't know. Another thing, another big problem was that as part of the like dialogue heavy role playing, it felt like there were a lot of dialogue options that were just bogus. Like at one point, freaking Nerd Bomber, whatever his name is, secondary character. He needs help figuring out how to spell millennium. Like he's put on the spot by his teacher. He's got to figure out how to spell millennium. I don't know how to spell it. That's a challenging word for me. Um, and the teacher even calls you out. Like I bet you probably just Google millennium to figure out how to spell it. Like, well, guess what, dude? That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I Googled how to spell the word millennium. I gave him the answer, and he said it's wrong. What? And then the secondary character gives me flack for him not knowing how to spell millennium. Like, you put me on the spot. I don't know what to say. Like, I gave you the right answer, and the game wouldn't accept it. And here's another case, right? Where it's early in the game, and I'm trying to Riz up Chie. And when I choose the Riz option, it's like, you wanted to say that, but you don't have enough bravery. Well, clearly I do, because that's the dialogue option I picked. So it was a dialogue option where there was no dialogue option. I don't know. This is like really early in the game. At what juncture did I have an opportunity to level up my bravery to where that would become an option? Like, there was none. So it was just a fake choice, and it felt robbed. So, whatever. Maybe I'll give it another shot on screen. But my experience with Persona 4 was that it was just awful. And I mentioned, by the way, that if the main character gets KO'd, it's an instant game over. Doesn't matter if you have restorative items. Doesn't matter if you have other characters still in the fight. The main character goes down, and that's just it. Like, what? Is he, like, allergic to Phoenix Downs or something? It just does not make any sense to me. So, yeah, that was really terrible. And so I'm none too excited about, I guess it's like some sort of remake or whatever. Like, whatever, screw that. I mean, you could fix the... You can really only do so much to fix the gameplay issues. I mean, what can you do short of just like completely compromising the vision for that game? Like, it would have to be a complete overhaul for me to actually like it. Anyway, back to what I was saying about, Team Ico, whatever you want to call it. So Ico was okay. It kind of wasn't okay. It was cool, but I don't necessarily know if it was like fun or satisfying from a gameplay perspective. And then Shadow of the Colossus was awesome. And then Last Guardian was just really just whatever. I'm not really in a hurry to replay it. But there's this new thing, previously announced as Project Robot. Now it's the official name is Gen Atlas. And I'm curious about it. So, I mean, I've already watched this trailer, but I just want to go ahead and go over it with you guys real quick. And let me make sure my filters are on, because I've heard that the music in the trailer gives people problems. Yeah, I mean, this part is cool. He like glazes the creator a little bit, but I mean, we're here for the trailer, so yeah, this is Gen Atlas. The music for this is cool. I get that you guys don't really get to hear it. Interesting, like, main character design. He's kind of, from what I can tell, he's another robot, right? Because he's like, you can clearly see he's like chopped in half or something, I think. Or no, maybe that's just his legs, but he looks like he is a straight up robot. Okay. With like almost like robot hair. Like he has the impression of hair in his silhouette. Um, and he's kind of cute and kind of scary at the same time. Like he has an exterior that's hard to read a little bit. But yeah, the look and the atmosphere, it's about what you'd expect from the studio. Lots of desolation, lots of like beige and other earth tones, lots of gray, lots of stone. But sci-fi, I don't know, Last Guardian kind of dipped its toes into sci-fi. Like when you get spoilers for Last Guardian, by the way, but you get to the top and you find out that the ruler of all these weird sphinx-like creatures is actually a cold, unfeeling, like spheroid, robotic, inorganic essence. It feels like a robot, and now we are like going full into robot territory, and the more I look at these different games from Team Eco, the more I try to like use mental gymnastics to tell myself, do these fit into one singular narrative? Because a lot of people say Shadow of the Colossus was a prequel to Eco. I always interpret it as cyclical. Because at the end of Eco, you lose your horns, and then there you're alone with this woman who may or may not be possessed by like a dark evil entity, and that sort of leads into Shadow of the Colossus. I thought it was cyclical, and then it feels like maybe the Last Guardian wedges itself in there at some point, because the way there are all these giant creatures, and then there's a great controller, and then you look at Shadow of the Colossus and how the the old civilization of the Forbidden Land, they clearly had some sort of like they had some sort of bond, some sort of synthesis with the Colossi, where a lot of them seem to have some sort of function in their society. So The Last Guardian almost feels like a prequel to Shadow of the Colossus, where it's some ancient culture and their study of how to manipulate arcane forms of life. And so now I'm wondering if this is way in the future where now you have like synthetic robotic colossi. Because I don't know if you saw it. If I can just roll this back a little bit. You can climb these stairs and then you go up into this little platform here. And that feels a lot like the 16th Colossus, where you go up like the nape of his neck and then up to this little area right on top of his head. And now it almost feels like there's like that aesthetic is in this. But now it is in robot form. Very interesting. I also just like how, even though this has like giant super robots, there's still a certain like primitive charm to it. Like you go up into this robot and it's not the big flashy cockpit with like holographic displays all around you, and you get into this like full body control harness or whatever. It's just like a platform with like little control panels on it. And it feels very manual and very almost brutalistic. But yeah, apparently this is presented as being like the main mechanic. There's almost like a headmaster's mechanic where there are these robotic bodies that have interchangeable heads. And so you take control of them in order to perform different tasks. Like, look at this. People have pointed out that the texture for this is like really rough, but I mean, it's clear to see why because you pull back and then you realize, oh, the scale for this is absolutely ridiculously massive, like completely unprecedented, really. Because look at the little ladder on his leg. You can climb that. This absolutely dwarves um, anything in Shadow of the Colossus. If you were to stack the Colossi up next to this thing, I think I think Colossus number 16 would just about come up to his knees. Like this thing is big. This thing is big, McLarge, huge. Even the 13th Colossus, which is low key the largest one, if you stretch it out like to its full length, if you stood it up, maybe it would compare to this robot, but like, wow. It's just really stinking huge. And being able to manipulate absolutely massive elements of the environment like that is pretty awesome as well. Feels very empowering. So it's clearly taking notes from The Last Guardian, but just more sci-fi and I think more intuitive in terms of controls. Because it was a neat little novelty when it like the controls were almost bad on purpose because you're trying to control this creature. But I think I'm gonna enjoy controlling this robot better. Also, there's shooting. You're shooting these nasty little squirmy catfish worm creatures. Um, I mean, being able to shoot in this feels weird, but like, hey, remember what I said about The Last Guardian, right? At least you can defend yourself in this game. There is an actual combat engine. Also, check this out. This is a pink robot. This is very like, this looks like RC from Transformers. So yeah, there's little fights and then there's big fights, and you can like scale the robot in real time and like control it and stuff. Feels crazy. And is that like a giant space rocket that you're climbing as it's going up? That's hardcore. I wonder if this is going to go to outer space. You know what this feels like? It has only just occurred to me. This feels like Scalebound, but with a giant robot instead. The idea that you have a giant monstrous partner in combat and you each have a role to play in combat. That's kind of the vibe that I'm picking up. Yeah, and that's Gen Atlas, and it looks pretty sweet. It does appear to be. Yeah, it looks like an EGS exclusive for now, and hopefully, I can get my computer working a little stronger by the time it comes out. Which is when again? I don't plan on gaming on console because like screw that. But I would very much like to get my computer working at full capacity in time for that. No, no, like release date. Not even like a vague declaration of like 2028 or something like that. No, nothing. Which I mean, that kind of tracks because remember, like Last Guardian, how long did it take for Last Guardian to come out? Uh, Although the thing with the Last Guardian is that with having like a big creature that is enormous and has lots of like texture physics going on and really sophisticated animalistic AI, like that was really beyond the capability of the technology of the time. This feels way more in line with what current technology can do. So I don't expect it to take as long as as Last Guardian, but it's still probably going to be a little bit because they really want to make sure they get it the way they want to make it. They don't want to compromise the way they did with Shadow of the Colossus. And then the other game that I want to spotlight here was Stellar Blade Blood Rain. I did not play the original Stellar Blade because my rig just isn't built like that. But I think this game speaks more to my own personal aesthetic. First off, the if I can just go ahead and turn this up now, like the cyberpunk aesthetic is really really cool. It's got an interesting color palette. A lot of like orange and beige. Which I don't know about that. And yet people have already pointed out like the vast disparity between the main character, like she got big case of baby face, but like voluptuous, not even really voluptuous, but like clearly mature body and voice. And it's a little jarring. Costume's a little over designed with all the little strings and like floppy bits floating around, but yeah, this is really cool looking. I also just feel like I want to point out that at this point, this game in engine is as good or better looking than something like, say, Final Fantasy Advent Children, which was like a non interactive, straight up movie, like full blown CG movie, and was pushing the absolute limits of what technology could do at that time. Yeah, this right here, what we're seeing is way more. If I can just like, if I can make this a little more visible, because I think that's okay. There, if I can crank that up, like this is really sweet. The combat is nuts. It's got like cool lightning effects on all of our hits, and I really like uh, lightning stuff and electrical powers. This is why Static is one of my favorite superheroes. But it's not like, even though she has like electrical powers, she's not shooting lightning. She's still very much a close quarters combatant with like crazy like boxing moves and like she's got that crazy slip game going on and Inazuma kicks and just everything about her fighting style is figuratively and literally super duper punchy. And I am way into that, way into the over the shoulder third person brawling. Very like character actiony. And honestly, between like the skin suit and the lightning powers and the action, I actually thought initially that it was going to be a remake of Product Number Three. But yeah, that looks super duper cool. I really want to check that one out. I just absolutely karate chopped my mic, by the way. So, is there? There's no release date. Okay. Oh, sorry, I missed that. Apparently, there is a. If I can just roll that back, apparently there's a new Crazy Taxi game, which I've never played it, but I do own it now, and I have a working Dreamcast right over here, so I might want to catch up so that I can play this new Crazy Taxi game. I don't know what console is it coming out on. It looks cool. Let's see. It's called Crazy Taxi World Tour 2027. It is coming to Steam, so that's good. And then we've got some. Apparently, we've got some. What? We got classics coming? Or. Oh, no, it's like an anniversary edition, uh, cigarette disposal / gamer fridge. I know it's the console, but like I like to make fun of the way it looks because it just looks so stupid. Yeah, no, not interested in hardware. Sorry. Um, of note, people have been saying that Xbox has been working on its public image and on its future plans, and they've really been reshaping themselves as a brand. And so this is the first big press event since the Reformation, because Xbox is kind of like almost fallen off the radar in terms of gaming. It's pretty much just PlayStation and Nintendo and then PC. So this is their attempt to be relevant once again, and so I do have a bit of curiosity about this, but so far, and I'm noticing that we're not live for some reason. I don't really know why, so I'll just go ahead and skip. Age of Empires, don't care about it. Minecraft, don't care. Super duper don't care. Honestly, the only reason I even show up to these things is the off chance that Beautiful Joe 3 gets announced. Blah, 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 blah. What's it called? Just, yeah, whatever. Yeah, we don't care. Okay, it's live again. But yeah, I mostly want to check out those two trailers first. So now I want to dig into the last 3 episodes of Flix May Try. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's get everything up and running. So, hello. Yep, full screen. Put this on. Put this on. Display capture. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's good. And we got our filters on. Yeah, I knew lady wasn't dead. Yeah, so see if I remember. There was a new character, voiced by Keith David. He seemed super duper cool, and then he turned out to be super duper stupid, and he gave away like the all important thing that will end the entire world just to save his own daughter, who may or may not actually be saved. I mean, it's still a coin flip on whether or not she is going to fall victim to like the villain's machinations. So, I mean, that was just really dumb. And then I don't remember what happened to Dante. I remember Lady got jacked up. And the president got rocked. It's fine. He wasn't a terribly compelling character to begin with. Oh yeah, and I don't remember what happened with Virgil. Virgil was gonna. What was Virgil doing? I think you. No, we're not doing this. We're muting this. We're muting this, and I'm trying to take it off my headphones. I can't stand the soundtrack for this show. So, oh, it's the Fallen. Before we even go any further, can I just go ahead and say that that the Fallen gets way, way too much flack for being quote the worst enemy in Devil May Cry? I never understood that. First off, they only ever attack you two at a time with no other enemies, unless you're playing like Bloody Palace or something. They always go clockwise. They always travel clockwise around your position. And so it becomes extraordinarily easy to just kite them around to where their whole like clipping into the environment thing isn't even an issue. So why people complain about the Fallen and not something like Faust or Mephisto or Sin Scissors, Sin Scythe, Death Scissors, Death Scythe, all of those like ghostly enemies is beyond me. Like there's really nothing wrong. And this isn't a game that has Arachne and Enigma. Enigma gets my vote for worst enemy in Devil May Cry 3. And then, of course, Chimera gets my vote for worst overall because, like, why would you ever create a combo-proof enemy in a Devil May Cry game? That makes no sense. Like, that's even worse than anything that the reboot tries to lob at you. But yeah, I just never got the hate for the Fallen. It just seems like a perfectly normal, manageable enemy. All right, cringe music. I forgot. Oh, and hey, she's got more of like an old school design going on. She looks younger now. So no, this is the present. Oh no, this is actually in the past. Okay, because I was gonna say, Lady looks way smaller and younger. But wow, that's the demon you've been tracking for weeks. Again, I assert that the Fallen is not that difficult to deal with. So it's like, I don't know. That's kind of embarrassing on the part of the Order or Homeland Defense or whoever he's supposed to be working with. I forget. Now, hold on a sec. There's a cool looking game that they're showcasing as part of like the Xbox Games Showcase. It's weird, but it almost looks more like Onimusha than actual Onimusha. It looks really cool. Where winds meet. And it will be available on Steam, so I'll try to remember that. Hidden Mount. Wait, what? Where winds meet Hidden Mountain. Is this a game that's already come out and this is like an expansion pack? And Castlevania, whatever. Darkcom, that's what they were called. Okay, and we're skipping the intro. soon as possible. Thank you. Still not as cringe as the first opening, but yeah. Still makes my skin crawl every time someone calls her Mary or Arkham. Oh, now hold on a second. Who's this cutie that shows up for like 3 seconds? Okay, the long, wild white hair and like the tan skin, the strong arms and shoulders, and the face. Oh man. Brink of a new millennium. Wait, does this series actually take place in like the 90s? Yeah, what happened to Dante again? I don't remember. Because there's really not a lot. Like the series just isn't that memorable. Honestly, the reason I have trouble remembering things is just because they're not memorable. Like, it's only been a week since I watched episode 5. This, I think, has been the one truly compelling thing about the series so far, is that it's not entirely clear who is telling the truth and who is telling lies. Because neither side is particularly trustworthy. Hold on a second. Before we go any further, it's getting really hot. So I'm going to go take care of the air conditioning real quick. Okay. I forgot. I really should just start dropping the AC down to like 70 um, during streams because it gets really hot in the battle station when I stream. in the production house, as I like to call it. By the way, Devil May Cry 3 reference. The like MC Escher Dreamscape. And these shadowy souls feel very much like they're from the reboot, the other reboot. Oh, good, it's already muted because we got more cringe music. But hey, Virgil's got hands, which I like. I guess he doesn't have his sword. No, it looks like he doesn't. But he's got his hands, and that's enough, and that's the way I like it. Virgil 2, best boss fight. Yeah, Arius, your argument is like way weak. Your idea of Argosax and Dante being similar is super duper superficial. Like that line was never going to work. Like Dante's a force of chaos that is ultimately for good and for humanity. I want to say, isn't it kind of embarrassing how Dante and Virgil are pretty much always on the ropes? They never feel truly powerful or in control of their situation. They just get pushed around a lot in this story, and that's really embarrassing. At this point, I think the only way they could really come back is just actually being the ones to defeat Argosax. Like, please don't let it be like before. Like, who even defeated the White Rabbit? Was that Dante or was that lady? I'll have to rewatch. Arcosix he looks super teeny tiny now. What? So Mundus was one of his dudes. Okay. Okay, that's interesting bit of lore. Dude, I would not touch that after it just instantly burned a piece of paper. Okay, interesting. What? That looks like Credo. Oh no, that's the actual order. That's the order. The Devil May Cry 4 order. Wait, did Arias just like fry Credo right then and there? I think he did. I gotta rewatch that. Yep, that's Credo. And that's Credo turning it in. And yeah, Credo. One of the main motivating factors for Nero and Devil May Cry 5 just unceremoniously disintegrated. Okay. Alright. Alright. Well, not every society. You're only 672 years old. Like, human civilization is way, way, way older than that. Yeah, even though it's just replacing one form of absolute rule with another. Like, once Argosax comes into power, it's just going to be more of the same. He had a clear and obvious hierarchy. He had dudes who worked under him. It's not chaos. It's just more of the same. Who are these clowns? These look like regular humans. Great, more cringe music. I'm just going to go ahead and take my headphones off right now. I keep forgetting to unmute the audio, but then I realize that the audio probably should stay muted. Yeah, can't believe these goobers thought they were just going to fold Virgil just because he doesn't have a sword. Yeah, I was going to say, Virgil doesn't really care about that kind of stuff. All right. You know, her restraints don't actually look all that tight. She could probably easily just climb out of that. You know, saying that you're in allegiance with her evil ass dad is probably the worst way you could have possibly convinced her to join your side. That's obviously a bad idea. Wow, we're only like halfway through the first episode. Why does this feel so long? Man, these villains are like epically bad at convincing the good guys to join them. Like, do not try to touch on Dante's dad. Dang, Dante. There. Can we please get an actual fight? No. No, Dante still sucks. I'm getting really tired of rebellion jobbing. Oh. That's a lot of blood, by the way. That's like all of Dante's blood right there. Yeah, he's getting drained dry right now. Man, Xbox is still carrying on about their stupid Gears of War. They get it. Hey guys, Devil May Cry 3 reference. We're cool. We get you. We get it. Uh, all the classic Devil May Cry references feel so superficial in this series. Oh, it's like the Magic Circle said something. I thought it was in English. I want to see if I can read it. Uh, no, I can't. Yep, there's Trismegius. There's the worst boss in Devil May Cry history. Hey, at least I don't gotta fight him this time. This guy is so evil. Who could possibly want to hang around with him? Yeah, it's a metal whole thing called Being Dead. Dang. So, Vice President's actually kind of listening. Oh boy. Yeah, leaving her alone with Tom was dumb. Then again, if the plan was to betray Arias, why didn't you just bring Lady with you? That doesn't make any sense. What the? He's doing some Klonoa stuff to them. Oh, no, never mind. They're just human fireworks. And, for someone who deals with magical forces, you really should have had some sort of, like, anti magic game on you instead of just getting force choked. Kind of sad, really, how, in most Devil May Cry, you had to be a special somebody to be able to wield the Sparta, and now just this random lady can, this random secretariat. That's pretty sad. That's pretty cool. And then he immediately passes out. Can Dante not have one, like, unironically, uncompromisingly cool moment. He's got to instantly pass out. Nah, man, not the Gurren Lagann like black and white blurry send off. Oh my gosh, this music is awful. Nah, dude, no. This is not the vibe. This is not the vibe. No. Oh my gosh. It's the big epic moment, and I can't even enjoy it with the volume on because the music is just so embarrassing. You know, draining people's life force, isn't that like a Clyfoth thing? Oh, what is this now? It's Golden Arias. Wow. Okay. Oh, and the cringe music keeps playing. Nah, dude, nah. Okay. That was the first episode. I felt like it took forever. Let's just go ahead and rock an episode 7 and try to choke down these last 2 episodes. Because I'm kind of looking forward to this being over with. Like, because here's the thing, okay? This is not as bad as the first season by any means. Like I say, it feels more like Devil May Cry, but it's just kind of boring. Like the characters I care about are not at the forefront the way that they should be, and they're just upstaged by characters that aren't interesting. Like I don't know, man. And beyond that, it just feels like a more generic story. It feels like I don't know. It just feels like a like I'm watching a Devil May Cry game instead of playing it. Except that is infinitely more talky and with way less action and more politics. Just whatever. It's just boring. Like I don't have the vitriol for this the way that a lot of people do. Like a lot of people really hate this. They really hate how they did Virgil, and they really hate all the politics. And I don't know. Even though I'm not at that level, I'm just not really enjoying this series. And it doesn't make me happy to hear that there's going to be like 2 more seasons. Why does he not have teeth? He's got dumb rugrat mouth. They're doing the thing. Now, this isn't very fair. They're all attacking at once. Oh, this is dumb. Oh, this feels really dumb. I don't like seeing like Little kid Nello Angelo. This is embarrassing. This is like Tom and Jerry kids, but it's Dante and Virgil kids. I forgot about like the dumb, silly, like Saturday morning cartoon villain voice they gave Beowulf. He is not commanding at all. He's way smaller too. He got the echidna treatment. That like the way echidna was so much smaller in the first season. They did the same thing to Beowulf too. I don't know why. Yep, that was pretty sus. Yeah, that's not really surprising. I still hate that Virgil's devil trigger is just Nello Angelo. Like, can we stop that? Can we see some actual Virgil devil trigger, please? It's really lame looking Nello Angelo too. Like the real Nello Angelo always had like this really cold, unfeeling exterior. Skip? Okay. I feel like that was supposed to be a big revelation, but it really kind of wasn't. It was pretty obvious that the whole thing was like a psyop because it's pretty hard to believe Mundus was like actually the good guy. I do kind of like how the horns and the tentacle bits make him look like a tiny version of Argosax. My concern is that with the way he's all golden and glowing, this is as close to the despair embodied as we'll ever get. Is this it? Like, here's the thing, right? Going back to, I guess the Xbox game showcase is over. Um, like, wow, for the last like for I think the last half hour, it was nothing but just them prattling on and on and on about Gears of War. When I don't really care. I don't think anybody does. Okay, I can go ahead and turn that off. That was really boring. The the Yeah, that sucked. The Xbox game showcase sucked. There's not a single interesting thing in the whole bunch, except for Crazy Taxi World Tour, I guess, which isn't even Xbox exclusive. Like that, no one's gonna pick up an Xbox for that when they could have it on PC instead. But yeah, like I was gonna say, um, Arias in Devil May Cry 2 already like in the end game he started feeling like a G virus ripoff. The way that like he had a big mouth on his chest and then like his face merged with the mouth on his chest and then his like back limbs grew out and he turned into like a giant hexapodal monster. Um, Now I'm kind of getting another sort of G virus ripoff in the sense that uh, like as his monstrous aspect grows, his human face is getting pushed down further and further, and it's getting shrunken down as his monstrous form envelops his human form. The idea that he's turning more and more into Argosax is kind of cool. But yeah, like I was saying, the fact that he's like all golden and shiny makes me worried that this is as close as we're ever gonna get to the Despair Embodied, which was the actual coolest creature design in all of Devil May Cry 2. Like really up there with the better Devil May Cry games. Dang, right in the dome. I hope so. I hope Dante can actually have a fight that he can win in this show instead of just getting worked all the time. How is it that the he who really should be the main character of the series is just a punching bag for everyone else? Yeah, I should have figured you weren't gonna show off that cool sky bridge without having a fight on it. Well, he doesn't seem to be in a hurry. He's moving pretty slow for a man on a mission. Oh, great. More cringe music. The soundtrack has been really overbearing this season. Like I've had to take my headphones off way more than I ever did with season one. That's cool. That's like a Dante Devil May Cry thing. Yeah, see, that's cool. That's cool. That's Devil May Cry. That's Dante saving people and being cool and stylish and putting up a fight. Could we possibly get like an entire Devil May Cry series just like that? Oh, but the dialogue is really cringe. I'm kind of glad I don't have my my headphones on for this. Just reading the subtitles is giving me secondhand embarrassment. All right, and I totally clocked the microphone again. Why don't you just shoot her in the brain? I mean, they're clearly evil demons. Why hesitate to open fire on her? That guy's voice sounds super familiar. Noticing that this is like super duper quiet. Let me go ahead and turn it up. Not that you're missing out on much. Wow, that guy's back should be broken, by the way. Sailing into the heavy duty glass like that, he should be absolutely devastated. And no, no, he's fighting fit and running right alongside Lady. Never mind. Oh, from that walk cycle, I thought his arm was busted, but no, it was just a bad walk cycle. Or run cycle, I should say. No kidding. That line seemed super unnecessary. More cringe music. Wait, the other guy had a gun. Like, I guess he still couldn't see. But, like, moving in closer just seemed really stupid. What? Did Virgil just do a round trip with Yamato? That feels weird. So I guess that's the big twist, right? The twist is that Virgil didn't actually fall for the head games. That's a pretty hard line. That's the coolest thing Virgil has said this whole season. And Dante needs saving yet again. Still on the back foot after all this time. Oh my gosh, is the little girl actually going to do something? I will admit her role in the story over these past couple episodes has kind of helped to push her past her initial poor first impression. Actually bonding with Virgil a little bit, I didn't really see that coming. I get tired of seeing just anyone wield the Sparta. Dante and Virgil working together against the giant city destroying monster also feels very reboot esque. Wait, I don't get it. I mean, running and hiding was pretty much what Dante did. If anything, I feel like he went above and beyond what Virgil expected him to do. Okay, are we finally gonna get cool Virgil? Hmm. You know what? Whatever. Whatever. I'll take this over like the weak looking Nello Angelo. And his new sword is cool looking, and I like his horns. It's just I don't know. This Devil Trigger, it does not. It just doesn't hit hard enough for me, and it doesn't hit any of the like cool samurai motifs that I expect from Virgil's Devil Trigger. It just feels like generic Blue Demon for the most part. The weapon design is definitely the highlight of this Devil Trigger. Wait, how come those bullets weren't exploding when they're supposed to go all snap crackle pop when they come in contact with demon flesh? The idea that Epsilon is just blocking the shots with her body, it just doesn't make sense to me. What? I mean, I guess the big epic final boss and everything, but I mean, come on, man. This is Virgil's big epic moment where he assumes his true form, and he's getting worked. That's what these Sons of Sparta do, is they just get rocked. This feels like a very Naruto moment. Going into his mind palace and then his like yellow haired parent stops him. And you know what? That's probably like the most Devil May Cry moment in the entire series. Ooh, Argosak's got the stiletto heels on. That's Like kind of a silly design. That doesn't make him very scary. Okay. All right. I vibe with this. I admit I also have like a big weakness for the Dante's Office theme music. Like that to me is honestly more iconic than Taste the Blood. So this is doing it for me in a big way. This is honestly the highlight of the whole series. Where the good guys feel like they finally stopped jobbing. And we've got cool non cringe music that actually comes fresh from the video games. That's rich coming from you. Please tell me this means that Lady's gonna stop swearing so much. Hey, those last few guys were the snack that he needed to start pushing the Sons of Sparta around again. All right, final boss time. Just in time for episode 8. Oh my gosh, the bat. No, no, no. Hold on. Run that back, okay? The bad guy now being a dark silhouette with a glowing core inside the glowing core of the giant building sized monster. That is such a reboot move. It's so weird seeing elements from the games being Frankenstein together in such a way. Where now Argo Sax is getting the Mundus reboot treatment. Whoa. Oh boy. We're getting an actual. You know what this is? We're getting an actual Godzilla, like, let them fight moment. So how this work? You just gonna? Oh no, I thought she was gonna like smash them with the Sparta, and then the Sparta would drink it up. But now she just mushes. She just kind of mushes the little ampules into the sword, which is weird. I guess this kind of seems like a bad. This seems like a bad thing that we did. Okay. Oops. Well, that's a bad news bears. But hey, there's still one more episode. It couldn't go perfectly right, could it? All right, next episode, last episode. Let's do it. It's actually, I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's actually getting good. Ooh, okay, hold on a second. Do I recognize any of these demons? Kind of hard to make them out. But that one looked kind of familiar. Nah, I think these are all just original designs. Is that the freaking lizard? He looks like he's wearing a lab coat. Oh, cool. Mundus gets a big honking sword. I forgot to turn the volume up. Not that you're really allowed to hear, because I gotta have the filter on, but I don't know. It just feels better if you can kind of, hear, if you can kind of tell what's going on. Oh yeah, that's cool looking. I kind of prefer my Sparta to be a little more bug-like, but this is still okay. And seeing an actual Sparta versus Mundus fight is also pretty neat. Dang, okay. So is Jester shaping up to be like the season 3 villain? You know, Jester's also human, yeah. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Who's this like? Who's this Timu version of Dante? Like he's almost Dante coded. He's got like the red colored bit here, but okay. I don't know. It just feels like a rejected Dante design. Man, the other demons are not vibing with the act. Yeah, that was. Oh well, I mean, I guess it's over now. But that was actually like a cool original score that was firing up there. Here's one thing, by the way. One thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way is the idea is, oh, we got to get Argus Axe into the demon world now while he's still weak, so Mundus can win, right? But didn't Mundus already win when Argus Axe was already at his full strength? Like, way back when this whole thing started? So I don't know. It just feels like it should be light work for Mundus, all things considered. I don't see the difference between then and now, unless there's a detail that I missed. I guess he had a bit of a posse, but then wasn't that also like a way weaker Mundus back then when it was just like little kitty Mundus? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that aspect of where the air in the demon world. I'm not calling it Makai, by the way. Like, no, Makai to me is like Japanese fantasy wrestling. But like, I totally forgot about the whole the air is supposed to be poisonous thing. I can't believe they remembered because that was just kind of like a dumb thing anyway. Like the idea that it's poisonous even to people native to the demon world. Okay. Oh, that was easy. It's hardly worth bringing up, all things considered. Yep. Oh, why is he wielding it with his left hand now? That seems weird. Oh, okay. Maybe it was that. Oh, maybe it wasn't that it was like little baby Mundus. It was. It's just that Argosax is just big McLarge huge. Because this is him when he's still not all the way there, and he is about as big as Mundus. So if he was all the way here, if he was all the way there, he would actually be even bigger than this. Okay, I turned the AC down, but it's actually getting it's getting a little too cold now. Okay, this is pretty neat. This is something you wouldn't get to see in regular DMC. Yeah, what was it about a random dude like Sparta that he had absolute control over the barriers between the two worlds? Man, you know what I think also makes these last couple of episodes better? The fact that, and this really says a lot about the missteps taken by this series. Once the United States stopped being a faction in this whole fight, that's really when it did start to get better. Paring down on the number of factions to where it's basically just like three of them. humans and then the two different factions of the demon world. That's about the time that it got better. So yeah, like the fewer players there were in this story, the better it got, and that's really how it comes down in Devil May Cry in general. When you think about it, is Devil May Cry has never really tried to juggle too many different agendas and too many different players all at the same time. It's usually been about three of them. Two or three, and that's it. Dang, now Mundus is getting washed. The lesser of the two evils. It's like anytime anyone sides with the forces of good, they just start getting rocked. Oh my gosh. You're telling me big fat ass Mundus actually got in like a flash step? This is embarrassing. Okay, I underestimated Mundus. Okay. No, Mundus has started R farming. This is not going to go your way, my mans. Dang. Dang, is that it? Not quite, but he is looking pretty jacked up. Dang. All right, I like that. I liked the way that came down. I like how Mundus didn't gloat and give Argosax a chance to get a second win. He just went up there and he just straight up just canceled his birthday right there. Hmm. Might want to stomp him out though, just to make absolutely sure. Okay, but now we got to deal with the other guy, the other devil. Nah, these clowns light work. Oh, but then there's Mundus. Crap. What? Dude's a proven liar. No way. Yeah, who are these other dudes who low key kind of look like Mundus? Who ranked equally with him? Yeah, look at these dudes. These dudes, like, there are other Munduses. What's up with that? Where'd they go? That's a cool looking standard. Yeah. You're telling us what we pretty much already know. Hey, the subtitles were wrong. But yeah, we're you're pretty much telling us what we already knew. I mean, Sparta wasn't always good. He, woke up to justice. That means at some point he had to be sleeping through justice, right? Oh, okay, that's it. He just gave the other Munduses a haircut. Is that the Timony group? Wait, if that's supposed to be the Timony Groove, then why is Sparta so freaking gigantic? Oh, now he looks way smaller. I'm getting confused. Oh, there. By the way, I don't remember if we've seen this before. Uh, Not in the cartoon, at least. The human Sparta. Oh, he's got the monocle. He's about what you would expect him to look like. His hair is extra freaking long though, which I guess is in line with his portrait in DMC 5. this is absolutely like another lie. I hope so, or else they're about to really, really ruin Sparta. And I don't know what it is about reboots that they feel like they have to bury Sparta, right? He's supposed to be the coolest of the cool, the OG. And yet in Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry, uh, he's a punk who walked out on his brother, both literally and in arms, so that he could sleep with like a hot angel chick and knock her up. And they fled in terror, and he never actually raised his sword for the sake of humanity. And then he got kicked around and basically turned into a gimp. So please don't tell me that this isn't a lie and that Sparta really is just another bum. Once again. All right, finally. We've endured quite a bit of talking. And I like how in action scenes you get uh Nero, you get Johnny Young Bosch's very familiar like battle cries. Please tell me he takes him down the exact same way. Okay, not the exact same way, but it would have been cool to see him quarter his head. I don't know, man. This does kind of seem like the time. Like you've slain his court. He's probably tired after fighting Artisax. This is kind of your big chance. I don't know about leaving. Mm. We should probably wrap this up soon, by the way. Like, the longer the rift stays open, the more demons come to Earth and screw things up. This is wild. And now we're getting, like, the breaking glass motif from DMC 5. Like, glass raining from the sky. And now we're just copying this little move. Like, okay. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. Wait, what's going on with the volume? The volume seems like it's busted. Let me try turning it down. Something weird's going on with the volume. I feel like it's glitching out on me. Let me tone it like way down. That's kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with the volume. I'm gonna turn it off for now because it's acting kind of busted. Oh, shut up. Dang, the yeet to another dimension. Mmm. Rough landing. Okay. And again, this is really channeling Ninja Theory's ideas for the reboot, with Virgil now having kingly ambitions. Unfortunately, I gotta say, you know what? I'll save it until the end because we're almost wrapped up here. Oh, that's a cool design. Yeah, I dig on that. I actually do what Lady does. Okay. Yeah, was that the girl from the first anime who serves up strawberry sundaes? I didn't even. I'm surprised I even remember her, but like, just laying my eyes on her, something about her feels very familiar. Yep, not shocking at all. Yep, and I guess that's our next big villain. Although we still have Bundes to deal with. Dang, Dante hit the ground hard. The impact is 30 times as wide as he is. Man. And Dante still never got a W in the entire series, I don't think. Like, ever. That's kind of embarrassing. Okay, are we done? What? No. Shut up. No. Shut up. Shut up. No. Shut up. Shut up. Oh my gosh, just close the whole thing. Alright, that's season two. And, I feel like, late as it was, it did kind of start to find its footing when it kind of cut ties from all like the dumb political stuff. But at the same time, I feel like Virgil is like kind of muddled as a character in the end, where he low key agrees with everything that Mundus did, but still rebels against him out of his sentimental attachment to his own mother. Like he talks down to humanity, but is still raises his sword in vengeance of them or for them. Uh, he intends to invade Earth and rule it and bring the demon world under his heel, but he saves Dante. I don't know. It's weird. It feels like there are two competing visions for how they wanted to write Virgil. This part of him is possessed by an enormous fealty to his family and to serve them, and part of him is a more objective, self-sacrificing, higher-minded sort of warrior ruler that wants to sever ties with his human side and his human heritage and all that. Um, I don't know. I don't get a clear vision for what they actually want to do with Virgil. He just feels like a very muddled, confused, uh, sort of dichotomous character. And so it's hard to really wrap my mind around him and be totally like 100% invested in him. Like, how can I be invested in a character that I can't understand? Is really my issue. So that's it. And just, I guess, just talking about season 2 overall, yeah, I do feel like it was better where when the politics were there, like the real world politics, they were handled better. But I also just feel like it was better when they weren't there at all. When it came down to the end game and the United States was pretty much just taken out of the picture. It just felt like a simpler, more focused, more compelling story. And that's pretty much my take on it. I actually am more interested in a season 3 than I thought I would be because I'd like to understand Virgil's character a little bit better. Because his inner conflict seems to, it has haunted him throughout the entire series, and instead of making him more compelling, it just makes him feel less clear in his drive and in his vision. That's how I feel about it. Now there were actually a few other things that I wanted to check out before closing things up for this stream. So let me go ahead and crack this up. As long as we're talking about Devil May Cry, right? This is a video that just popped up in my recommendations. This came out 13 days ago. From Lucid Enigma, it's Devil May Cry skills that are absolutely useless. So, I mean, in case you didn't know, I mean, I've played all. There's always going to be the weird ones that nobody ever talks about, like the surprising number of mobile games or that one pachinko game, Devil May Cry Cross. But the Devil May Cry games that matter, I played them all. I played 1. I even played 2, 3, 4, the reboot, 5. So big Devil May Cry fan. That's what got me interested in the animated series to begin with. I even watched the first anime, which was quite boring. Like, at least as bad as the new animated series is, I feel like it's at least worth talking about. The first one was just really, really dull, according to my recollection. So it's tough. Pick your poison. Do you want an animated series that's boring, or do you want an animated series that's cringe? But yeah, big fans, and so this got me interested in this right here. Devil May Cry skills that are absolutely useless. And just as a quick reminder, Cross Age Productions is not about content theft or piracy or parasitization. We are very much for supporting original creators. Cross Age Productions is only intended for curation, critique, and discussion. So if you want to support original creators like this one, I suggest you go ahead and do it. Go ahead and give Lucid Enigma a watch. And if you like it, go ahead and give it a like, maybe even a little subscription. But here we go. Let's go ahead and check this out together. Devil May Cry skills that are absolutely useless. And hopefully there's no copyrighted stuff in it. I think it should be fine. I don't know about if there's going to be like any copyrighted music or whatever, but let's just go ahead and fire it up. I think it should be okay.
Devil May Cry has dozens of weapons and hundreds upon hundreds of abilities the Sons of Sparta have executed throughout the series. With such a vast array of techniques, it should come as no surprise that some are more stylish.
That being said, I don't know this guy. This is my first video from this guy that I've ever watched, so I don't know how much of an expert he is on the subject, but you know, it's still interested in me.
Than others. Taking that a step further, a handful of weapons and moves are downright useless. Let's talk about them.
You think so?
I want to remind you about subscribing. It's the best.
I do remember watching combo videos, and one of them was like making a combo with all the worst moves. And there are moves that are considered bad because they just don't really flow into other moves. There's too much like they root you too much. They got too much cooldown, not enough iframes, that kind of thing.
Show that you enjoy the content and it helps keep the channel going. Now let's rock. DMC.
Oh, that select sound effect sounded really familiar. Let me get that again. Oh, what is that sound effect from? What is that? That little. Is that from Custom Robo? I can't remember. It's getting hot again. I need to turn this. I need to turn the fan back up.
DMC1 has quite a small, curated list of weapons and abilities, ensuring that basically everything you get is quite good.
Now, let me turn the volume up a little bit.
Weapon stands antithesis to that entire idea. Force Edge. It's the sword you start the game with, which is almost immediately replaced with Alistair. Dad's blade remains in your inventory though, and you can equip it at your leisure, but you really shouldn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Base moveset as Alistair, and that's where the similarities end. It deals less damage, removes your ability to double trigger, and it can't even be upgraded, so you're not able to do things like Stinger with it.
Wait, you can't Stinger with the Force Edge? I don't even remember that. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, pretty much just good for like challenge runs, I guess, if you want to do like a Force Edge only run. Don't know why you would do that. Just seems generally less fun. But it's it's not really weird, is it? The fact that Onimusha and Devil May Cry have a very similar weapon progression. Like anyone who hasn't played the OG Onimusha, like guess what? You start out with like a really basic regular weapon. Then you get a lightning themed, like basically straight up upgrade to that weapon. It has the same moveset and everything. And then you get the like heavier fire based upgrade. It's like a heavy weapon, and Onimusha it's a broadsword, and this is it's gauntlets. And the one thing that's missing though is after that you get the lighter wind themed upgrade. Devil May Cry doesn't really have an analog to that. And then once you've like sufficiently busted your ass, you get what is basically an upgrade of your basic weapon again, except it's like all the way epic. Difference is the Bishamon sword in Onimusha is like an optional unlockable thing that has infinite magic and just absolutely breaks the game, but you only get to have it for like the last 5% of the game. Whereas Sparta is like a big story beat and actually is kind of balanced.
Playing Devil May Cry 1 with Force Edge is like swinging around the broken straight sword in Dark Souls. Sure, you can do it, but there's no practical reason why you should. Force Edge is completely useless. Along with a sequel came quite a few new
Devil
additions.
May Cry 2. Oh man, this many useless abilities and strategies in this one. But Devil May Cry 2 has a surprising variety of like combos and stuff, but functionally they're just not that interesting. Also, just the fact that all of your melee weapons are extremely similar in function.
Play.
And not very many interesting firearms either.
Combo routes were added, we were given new characters, and the rigid curation prevalent in its predecessor was basically gone. Everything felt a lot more freeform, though instead of 2 melee weapons, we got one disguised as 3.
Yeah. Here's the rub though. The moveset that they give you in Devil May Cry 2 is not actually the moveset. It's called the moveset, but really all it does is give you the most basic controls. It doesn't tell you anything about how to do your different combos. And so for the longest time, I always thought Devil May Cry 2 was a game that only had one combo. And so, like, as bad as Devil May Cry 2 is, it left this impression of me that it was even worse. But then, like, every once in a while, a different combo would sort of accidentally come out. And then I figured out that it's flicking the directional stick at different intervals in your combo that then cause you to branch into other different combos. And then you have combos that you only get in Devil Trigger that are like really, really weird. It's just all weird. The whole design of it was just really unclear.
You obtain does exactly the same thing as any of the others, merely having different stats like higher range or damage.
In my experience, Merciless, yeah, the sword he has right here, Merciless, actually the worst because it trades damage for range. And there's basically no situation in this game where I felt thankful for the little extra, like, inch or two of extra range. Like, I always just get right up in the guy's grill and start swinging. Like, range is not a factor. Of course, I would rather have extra damage. And so I would always take the Vendetta instead. It has the best, most interesting design, does the most damage. It's just my weapon of choice.
Technically, because they do serve distinct purposes, I can't rightfully call any of them useless, even if I myself exclusively use the damage sword. Ranged weapons,
Yeah.
on the other hand, are another aspect of combat, and much like their close-up
Oh my gosh. So I couldn't remember if there was a shotgun in this game. Apparently there is. I just saw him use it. Why? 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 Why would you ever use the shotgun in this game? For a game that is all about like these massive sprawling levels, something that is like super short range and has tons of knockback doesn't seem useful at all. The shotgun has always been at its most useful in Devil May Cry 1 and 3 when you're in this dungeon with like really closed in spaces, very tight quarters. Once you start brandishing it in bigger, more wide open areas like in 4 and 5, it just doesn't do much really. And the shotgun in the reboot didn't even feel like a weapon at all. It felt more like a tool. It felt like it was almost exclusively designed to just deal with the shards, and that was it. It was not actually useful as a weapon. It certainly didn't have a lot of like visceral feedback in terms of like particle effects or sound design. It wasn't even a particularly interesting design for the shotgun. Now, it just looks like a big metal stick that shot farts out of the end.
They each have a unique role within it, except for darts. This weapon for Lucia sees her
Oh, the darts are so bad because they're supposed to be a crowd control weapon, but rarely are you ever flanked in this game to the point that you would need to throw in all directions. Really, all it does is uselessly spread the damage out into just the open air where it's not hitting anything, not really helping at all. It's just useless. A lot of the times the darts just don't hit anything. Like look at the like one or two darts that are hitting the enemy right now. versus the 4 other darts that are hitting nothing.
Toss out a bunch of projectiles in a fan around her, so they ought to be good for crowds, right?
Nah. And the other thing was that the firing rate was absolutely horrendous. Because she's got to do her dumb, fancy little Power Ranger spin every time she wants to throw them.
Well,
Awful.
Each individual dart is super weak, so only hitting 1 or 2 isn't gonna get you very far.
Yeah. Well, that and just the darts are very small and have small hitboxes.
Alright, so then it has to be good against big foes where you can get up close and have.
Oh, that's terrible.
But even then,
Look at the chip damage.
it doesn't launch enemies like other projectiles, and its general firing animation is sluggish.
By the way, for people who haven't played Devil May Cry 2, this is your chance to see what the Secretariats look like and what their like demon forms are based on. Like it's this, but like dark and creepy.
Your ranged weapon becomes darts regardless, but at least those home in on the enemy. Overall, every option is better. And
Yep. I would have felt a lot better about the darts if they had like a ricochet aspect to them. Like if you could pull off crazy trick shots to where they rack up multiple hits, that would change the whole weapon drastically. But as they are, nah, man, this ain't it. Even the cranky bombs, like, first off, I don't know why they're called cranky bombs or why they look like weird little statues. But, like, they're really useful in that one underwater boss fight where you can just spam them.
Transitioning into much more of what we recognize as modern DMC, 3 innovated by drastically expanding Dante's moveset, giving him tons of new weapons, and adding a plethora of nuanced mechanics.
If I had to guess, the worst move in Devil May Cry 3 for Dante would probably be Ultimate. It's just really, like, slow and clunky. And, like, it sounds awesome. It's called Ultimate, and it raises this golden barrier that absorbs damage, not just nullifies it, but actually converts it into health for you. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really see anyone use it.
Naturally, not everything was going to land. Like the kick. No, not that one, or this one, or any of those. I'm talking about this kick.
Yeah, what is with that kick, man? Like, it's not documented in the moveset at all, and sometimes it just sort of randomly comes out, and it's really annoying because a lot of times it's not the move that I'm trying to do, and it's just, like, weaker and breaks up the flow of my combo. Like, why does Dante sometimes feel like doing this terrible kick? I don't get it.
You might have seen Dante smack a demon's shins like this before, but you might not know why. See, when you're facing away from a foe, pressing the attack button will have Dante turn to face the enemy with this kick sometimes. And that is exactly why this move is useless. It can have some applications in practice, but a large part of DMC and what makes its stylish combat work is consistency. This kick is simply too inconsistent to pull off regularly.
Well, I mean, you're talking about being inconsistent when you're trying to do it. How about it being inconsistent when you're not? When it just comes out when I'm trying to do a regular move.
You're just as liable to turn around with a sword swing when the kick should have realistically come out, and if you were expecting the kick, it can mess up your whole flow. Another skill not worth its weight is drive. There are several barriers.
Drive. Oh, the OG version of Drive was it was arse. It was terrible. It was really slow. It did not have good visual feedback. You didn't rack up like there was no overdrive feature, so it was just like one hit. It was only really in certain like very specific situations that it would be useful. Like when I watched Pat play Devil May Cry 3, for example, on Two Best Friends Play, like he was able to use it on the elevator to surprising effect, but for the most part, it's just really weak. And I would argue that even when they tried to fix it in Devil May Cry 4 by inventing overdrive and just upgrading the visual feedback, still wasn't enough. It was only when Trish did it, when she can rack up like 11 overdrives in a row. I could really buy into it.
It's awkward to charge up, and the move itself is quite slow. In order to initiate drive, first you gotta hold the melee button for 2 or 3 seconds, meaning you can't be attacking while charging. Then when you release the button, Dante slowly gets into position before letting off an admittedly powerful blast. The move is simply too much commitment to be useful. A lot of enemies you encounter throughout Temenigru are fast and relentless. Things
Yeah.
drive can't compete with. But
Like, that effect on it is terrible. The way that it's just a red cloud that slowly forms around Dante's weapon. Like, not punchy at all.
the devs didn't give up on this attack. In fact, future iterations are not only extremely useful, but insanely potent. DMC4 introduced Quick Drive, a weaker version of the slash that was performed after a basic sword swing. It also tied drive to a swordmaster input, meaning you no longer had to charge something up before going into the animation. You could release the blast immediately or continue charging it for a more powerful blow, and it was even given 2 follow-ups to boot. However, none of that changes its DMC3 counterpart, which is effectively useless.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I am glad he talked about the kick, though, because I totally forgot about it. Yeah, that's really bad.
This version of Dante was given less moves than his previous iteration. We were graced with the addition of a new mainstay character, Nero. We'll talk more about him in the DMC5 section, though. In this game, Dante
Okay.
has one particular attack that's
A little disappointed that I didn't talk about Virgil in DMC3, but, whatever. It's fine. I don't play a lot of Virgil in DMC3 anyway. He doesn't really excite me. I've never been a Virgil guy. I don't like how he has lots of movement options that move you towards an enemy, but very few that move you away. And so his evasive options feel very limited to me.
stands out as odd. Backslide. Taking the shotgun and pointing it away from your actual target, the man in red sends a pack of pellets at the demon behind him. It's really cool in concept.
Yeah, it looks cool, but the actual application is just so limited. Like, nah, bro.
That's about all it's got going for it. In DMC4 especially, the game is insanely fast-paced, and there are a couple of general ideas you want to follow.
And also, just it goes back to what I was saying. Like, once you get to these more wide open areas, the shotgun just isn't nearly as exciting. Of course, when you play Special Edition and you're lady, like, the shotgun is absolutely world ending. It's like a handheld volcano.
Never take your eyes off the target, and don't stop moving. Backslide essentially breaks both of those rules. It roots you
Wait, what were the rules again? Hold on a
aggression
sec.
you want to follow. Never take your eyes off the target, and don't stop moving. Backslide essentially breaks both of those rules. It roots you in place while taking aggression off of the enemy you're actually targeting. This move exists perfectly preserved in DMC5, and even though 5 is a bit of a slower game, it's just as useless. You can hit the enemy you're locked onto thanks to some buffering techniques, but overall, backslide in casual play might as well not exist.
Yeah.
This infamous entry to the series took a combination
Oh,
of
blood.
Dante's
Okay, so in the reboot, my least favorite weapons were Osiris and Eric's. Osiris, I was never into its like weird charge up mechanic. Like, don't give me a weapon that starts out weak and then it gets better after you swing it for a little while. No. Give me a weapon that's good all the time and then it gets better. Like, please. And I don't know. I don't know. And then Eric's just felt very dumb and ironically not punchy despite being a big pair of dumb Hulk hands. It looked dumb. It felt dumb. It was dumb. For heavy weapons, I would always choose Arbiter. And for light weapons, I would always choose Aquila. So there was not actually a lot of weapon switching going on in that game. Not for me.
kits from the previous titles and mashed them together to create something quite one of a kind. Generally, everything has its place, and you would be hard-pressed to find something that isn't worth using.
What about Kablooey?
except one particular upgrade for the shotgun. It says that it increases your damage. It's lying. Looking internally, we can see that the damage does not change at all. What does get affected is how enemies stagger in response to getting blasted with some shrapnel. You see, the upgrade makes it so that at medium range, your shots don't even make them flinch. Remove the upgrade and suddenly they're reeling back after every shot.
Wait, what? It makes the shotgun worse? You gotta be kidding, right? There's gotta be some other value.
This quote-unquote upgrade is worse than useless.
Is it just like a programming error? Did they make the regular shot the level 2 and level 2 acts like level 1?
It is a detriment to you. Nero
And is that the way it is in the definitive edition too? Like, did they not fix that?
Dante both saw quite the glow up to their kits, yet each character has moves that stand
I hate the term glow up. It's so cringe. Like, it just sounds like you're mispronouncing grow up.
Of all others as worthless. But first, let's talk about the most useless universal move. This ability is nothing. It serves zero purpose. It should delete itself from the game now and give another skill a piece of that move list. Why? Because you can beat the game without moving. And here's a video walking you through exactly how. Moving on. For the first his first failure is his dropkick called Rainbow. Now, Nero had this move in DMC.
Excuse me? Dude, the dropkick is sick. Staggers the enemy and counts as a taunt? The dropkick rules.
MC4 as well, so let me explain what made it good in that game and how they absolutely gutted it in 5. Originally, you had to enter a full sprint, and from there, pressing the taunt button would see Nero dropkick whatever unfortunate soul lay in his path. The attack would send normal enemies flying away and deal pretty decent damage to boot. The only caveat is that to start sprinting in combat, you had to run in a direction for about 8 seconds. But
dang. Wait, so this sounds like the Devil May Cry 5 version is better, so where did they go wrong?
the payoff
According to you.
enough that it wasn't a problem. Now, let's look at DMC 5's version of the dropkick. You can use it whenever you want. No sprinting required. That's pretty great, huh? Except it's literally quantity over quality now. The move basically has no impact anymore, and the damage is essentially non-existent. It's been reduced to such a sorry.
Wait, what?
Except it's literally quantity over quality now. The move basically has no impact anymore, and the damage is essentially non-existent.
Wait, what? Okay, first off, if you're using the dropkick for damage, you're making a mistake, right? Because this is a taunt. That's why it's on the taunt button, okay? This is not big damage dealing death blow. Alright? It ain't that. And second, the fact that it's not knocking guys away, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You don't want enemies getting knocked away because guess what? These are hack and slash games. You want guys to stay close to you. You want them huddled. You want to hug them so that you can CQC them. I hate the way that a lot of moves knock guys away.
Been reduced to such a sorry state that the move has become entirely useless. Next up, Bringer Knuckle.
Well, hold on a second. Now, what about the style you get or the meter? Because again, it's a taunt. It's designed to build style and meter. I feel like this dude is just totally missing the point of the dropkick.
Just hear me out for a second. The move itself is actually fantastic. It's a passive you unlock alongside Nero's Devil Trigger, and it lets you throw a phantom punch at your foes while doing other actions. This fist can be used offensively, defensively, and every way in between. It's an excellent combo extension tool or just a nice infusion of extra damage. So, what is is it doing in this video? Well, you see, it's got a function that's similar to Dante's inconsistent kick from DMC 3. Depending on its detection, the game can sometimes decide that it's better to do a sweeping chop instead of the standard quick punch. It's a longer animation for something you typically use for its snappy activation, and this variant of the move can seriously screw up your timings or combos.
You think so? I mean, in my experience, the bringer knuckle, it's just something on top of what you're already doing. And I don't know. I don't really notice it. It's a much finer detail. And it doesn't, in my experience, it doesn't just like come out accidentally and ruin what you're doing. I've never had a problem with it myself. I don't know. I feel like this guy's kind of nitpicking.
Once again, it's about consistency, and this bringer knuckle variation brings unnecessary uncertainty to an otherwise stellar tool, and that's why the side swipe of the bringer knuckle is useless. Dante stands in a similar position to Nero. The move Hysterics is one that existed in DMC 3, but in 5 they somehow managed to make it work. Granted, it wasn't all that great to be.
Oh wow, you can stand that close to the king and not get hit? Let's get that again. Hold on a second. Like, look at the ring on the ground. Look at the particle effects all around you. Dante's not getting hit by that. Okay. Confidence.
But in its most modern iteration, it's downright unusable. Originally, Hysterics would see Dante shoot out a ton of homing missiles from Kalina Ann. The damage left a lot to be desired, but between the sheer amount of missiles and given the fact that each one caused an explosion, it was pretty alright for crowd control. In DMC 5, the move operates completely differently. Dante shoots out a number of missiles all at once, but they fire in random patterns each time, and they don't travel that far before they explode.
Yeah, I don't use that.
The attack is entirely unimpressive.
Yeah, it's way too slow. Double Hysterics has way too much of a warm-up.
And continue pressing the button to extend the amount of rockets shooting out, but why would you? Any enemy immediately gets knocked out of its radius from the first blast, unless the random pattern decides to miss the foe altogether. And in that case, you're just getting hit before the next volley comes out. The damage on bosses can be alright, but once again, you're relying on inconsistent random patterns, and you're also probably gonna get hit yourself in the process. It's not a good trade. For all of these reasons, Hysterics...
Yeah, I'm digging the, like, remix of, I'm digging the remix of Battle on the Big Bridge that's playing in the background, but it is making me worried about copyright infringement, so I don't know. Let me turn down the volume.
You hold the shoot button until your arm glows red, and when you release, you get an enhanced blast. That's it. You get one better shot, then you gotta charge up another. It's not worth the investment of holding the button.
I will never understand why they decided Gunslinger should automatically charge your pistols, but not the shotgun. Why? That was the missing ingredient that would have gotten me to actually get more interested in Gunslinger. That, and I wish you could actually, like, run and gun. Like, what if a feature of Gunslinger was that you could fire while still moving at full speed? That's one thing that I've always hated about guns in Devil May Cry. And it's why I usually don't use them almost at all. Sorry, I'm getting a little phlegmy. They're supposed to, like, fill out your combo for when the enemy is too far away. But the fact that you slow down when firing them means that you're, like, you're still low-key losing momentum while you're firing the gun. Better just hoof it and get to him as fast as you can. That's why I started using Trickster instead and just using air trick or ground trick so I could stay on the guy at all times. That's way better than slowly closing in on him while I open fire.
Wanting to fire the shotgun, you usually want it to happen right when you press the button. Holding it instead just feels kind of awkward. If it gave you 3 enhanced shots, kind of like how it works in DMC 3, I think it could be forgiven. But as it stands, why would you ever use Coyote A's charge shot?
See, I don't think I even noticed that it was actually technically downgraded because I never use the charge shot because it's not automatic. When it's like a really big heavy weapon like the Kalina Am, I can understand why that doesn't automatically get charged because it just works differently. Like it's more than just a better shot. But for the handguns and the shotgun, why not? I don't get it.
Weapon that isn't even worth the slot it occupies. Rebellion. That's right, his iconic.
Oh my gosh, Rebellion gets done so dirty. That and Sparta. They intentionally gutted its move sets just to give it back to you once you get the Devil Sword Dante. So that way the Devil Sword Dante feels like an upgrade, but it's not an upgrade. It's just getting back what they took from you.
Signature weapon has no place in the game, save for the very first mission where you're forced to use it. From a
Why?
first playthrough perspective,
Why did they do it?
finish mission 10, Rebellion gets replaced by Devil Sword Sparta. They share the exact same moveset, but DSS is better in every single way. It has more range and deals more damage. However, you might be thinking, doesn't Devil Sword Dante make both of these other sabers useless? Not.
No, I've actually watched another video on this subject, and Devil Sword Sparta actually has unique properties. Like I think it actually does slightly more damage than Devil Sword Dante in some cases.
They have some different properties that make Sparta worthy of consideration. For DSD, Prop Shredder is locked behind doing the first two hits of the basic combo. On the
Oh my gosh, that's the number one. That is the number one thing that screws up Devil Sword Dante for me. Is the way that they did Prop Shredder so dirty. Like it doesn't gel for me. You make parrying like a way bigger part of the game and the way that you play defensively, but one of your best parry options, they've gimped it. They've hobbled it. Why do that? Why make it the end of a combo to where it now requires tons of setup?
for two, you can do it instantly with a simple press of the Swordmaster button.
That's an absolutely massive prop shredder too, by the way.
Sparta and Rebellion can also do round trip, where Dante actually throws the sword away at the enemy. On DSD, it's called round trips and utilizes the Phantom Blades, but once they're out, your only option is to wait for them to come back. In contrast, when you throw your actual sword, you always have the option to command it back to you at any point. So yeah, one of these swords is unique enough to be useful, and that
Ew, I don't know. I feel like once I use round trips, I don't have much need to call them back to my side.
That would be Devil Sword Sparta. Rebellion is inherently identical, woefully weaker, and regrettably redundant. And that's it. Those are the moves and weapons I would consider useless.
Okay, it would have been nice if he had gone character by character, but this was still a fun little video.
If you disagree with any of these or think I missed some,
And it's nice to hear him talk about the kick in DMC3 because it is the most like obscure move in that entire game. So yeah, that was cool. I like that video. I'll go ahead and give him a little likey poo right here. And then let's see. While we're also on the subject of Netflix, I thought I'd go ahead and fire up this little trailer. Netflix. Okay, so now I feel like I want to, because it's Netflix, right? So you gotta do this, and then put the filters on for the audio. And now I feel like we can watch it. So yeah, season 2 trailer for The Last Flickspender. Let's go. I'm not terribly looking forward to it though. I think I might actually like Last Flickspender even less than Flix May Try. Oh my gosh. Ain't talking with that grown man voice is cursed. What was What's up with Aang's like horrible sloth pose? Look at that. The Virgin Airbender versus the Chad Earthbender. Wait, is that guy's last name Raisin? No, it's Raisani. Sorry. As long as she's blind and acts blind. That's hard to do physically though. Because that is something intuitive that you have to repress. The idea of like making eye contact with or at least looking vaguely in the direction of the person that you're talking to. Toph doesn't do that at all. Toph is totally blind and just listens, and that's how she gets through life. And so she will often turn away from the person she's talking to so that she can turn her ear towards them. So this is a tough character to portray physically, I feel, because it goes against what is intuitive for people to do in social situations. Interviewing her in her costume when she's not pretending to be blind is a little cursed. Oh my. Aang is so much bigger. They waited too long for this new season because Aang is not a little boy anymore. Remember, this whole series is supposed to take place within a year. Remember, he's got to master all the elements before the comet comes by summer's end. Should have probably said by summer's end in like 10 years. At the rate that this is going, I don't know, man. They're doing the cool seismic site thing though, so that's already like doing it correctly. Um, the reminds me of the sonar in the Daredevil movie. What? No, 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 no. You. This is the trailer for the new season, and you're already messing up. You're already messing. Let's catch that line again, real quick, like. Let me. You know what? I should be putting the captions on every time. Again. Again. How can I bend something I can't see? You're an airbender! You bend things that you can't see all the time! I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm so tilted. But that is one of the dumbest things I've ever read in my entire life. How can I bend something I can't see? Coming from the airbender. Can you see the air? No! Of course you can't! You dunderhead! You stupid densoid! You can't see the air and you can bend it? How are you complaining about not being able to bend something you can't see? You are the airbender! I'm tilted. I'm so tilted by that line. That is awful. I'm so glad I watched this on stream. I'm going to be paying very close attention to how Toph is physically portrayed. Because she's really just not allowed to even turn her head towards someone who's talking to portray it correctly, to portray that role correctly. Wow, really? Because see, that was what I was thinking, and then I thought, no, there's no way, that's not possible. No. But no, no, that actually is the way to do it. Contacts that completely block vision. Okay. By the way, I should go ahead and turn this on. Oh, that doesn't help. I'm also glad, by the way, that this trailer is very. Oh, that effect was terrible. Okay, actually, on a repeat viewing, it's not as bad as I thought it was. But I'm glad that this trailer is very Toph centric, because that was a big concern for people. I mean, you can probably feel it coming from me, right? Is like you there were rumors about Toph not being blind in the live action version, and that would have absolutely tanked the series with no survivors if they had made Toph not blind. That would have absolutely destroyed it, obliterated it. But she's blind, and they're taking that seriously with her performance, and so that's good. Like even in that one shot, right? She's not okay. I don't know. It doesn't look like she's looking at what she's doing, which is correct. Okay. Did they say when this is popping off? I wasn't paying attention. June 20th. Blood. I'm getting comboed over here. We're getting another. I mean, because like, okay, that's fine, right? It's cool that that we're getting what seems like a correct Toph, although there's only so much you can get from a trailer. But I said that they need to get Toph right for the season to not be ruined. That's not the same as saying that getting Toph right is like is like a get out of jail free card. Like just because you got it right, that doesn't automatically mean that the season's going to be awesome. You still got to work big time on the writing and the pacing. And I mean, you've already kind of screwed things up by establishing the idea that Aang can just fly without the glider. Like he can straight up like Superman. Like, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be a step up the way that Flix May Try season 2 was a step up, but I got my doubts. I really do. And frankly, season 1 was so bad that, much like Flix May Try, I would not even watch it if it were not like content for my stream. Yeah, that's the trailer. So, was there? I feel like there was something else I wanted to watch. No. I accidentally clicked on the Summer Games Fest again. There were 2 other things I wanted to check out. One, I'm not even gonna watch the video on stream. I don't think it's particularly compelling, but it is compelling to me. It's this from Joel Creates. It is an air purifier that he's been working on that is like super cool. It's like an air purifier for gamers. You see it, this is what it looks like. It's all like glowy RGB, super cool looking and futuristic. Again, just kind of gotta hit the highlights, but I would recommend checking this out because this is like, I'm embarrassed to admit it, but when I was a child, I would unironically watch infomercials. I don't know what it was about them that made me want to watch it. Maybe it was just a certain visceral satisfaction of watching a cleverly designed product at work. But I really like the way that in this video he explains his philosophy behind every aspect of design, the functionality, the aesthetics, the philosophy. It's like a really, really good pitch for a product, and it is super simple in design, and it looks like it's going to be really cheap, and it looks awesome. He said, can I find it? He said that he had plans for being able to like not just stand it up on the ground, but also hang it from the ceiling. And I think he low-key kind of let on that element was going to work as intended. But if it could, holy crap, that would be so awesome. Because as you can see around here, we're pretty limited on floor space. Like, I've only got so much to work with here in the production house. But still, this is like really, really tempting. We've got a lot of dust going on in this area. So this would be a cool project. So again, not watching the whole video. It's 20 minutes of this guy pitching his product, but I would really recommend just like go check this out. This is I built the opposite of planned obsolescence from Joel Creates. Not gonna watch the whole thing. You can watch it if you want. I would highly recommend it. Because I mean, this is both functional and just super stylish. I would love to have this glowing and just aura farming in my room. But yeah, hopefully this takes off and I can get this. Because the way it works is it's built like the title says it all. It's the opposite of planned obsolescence. The whole idea is that all the parts are cheap and standard. It's built using basic computer fans that you can find anywhere and basic air filters that you can find anywhere. You can find these at like your local grocery store. And I don't know, it was just cool. I could use more of this type of advertisement, really, where somebody sells something and they go through every step of the philosophy behind how it's designed and how it helps you and how they think it's cool. But the last video that I actually want to check out was this. It's from Guyver Midnight and the Guyver Geek. It's another trailer for Guyver Genesis. So we've checked this out before. As you may or may not be able to see, just back here, I've got the little display. You can make it out, actually. Big Guyver fans around here. So let's go ahead and check out this trailer. It's only 1:30. That's cool. It comes in the cool, like, fancy sci-fi case. and, and that's clearly a Malmod. I know that's a mistranslation, but I'm just gonna keep calling him Malmod anyway. Yeah, the costumes. Obviously, I already talked about it when we watched Guyver Midnight, but like the costumes are really slick. Yeah. Hopefully, this one is meatier because the Guyver Midnight was like super short. Like even calling it a short film is kind of overstating it. It was like super duper bite sized. Yeah, I look forward to that. Uh, mm, that Guyver design is it's a little weird. He's got like a bit of a weird snout going on, but still. And also his eyes, they're very clearly just like plastic see-through visors, but whatever. I'll take that caveat over the common rider style production of like having helmets that you literally cannot see through for talkie scenes, and then only in like wide shots or like really busy shots do they give them helmets that they can actually see through. But yeah, looks cool. It looks like it's pretty much just like episode one, where it's just the little itty bitty origin story. It probably is going to be another short one, but I'm still going to look forward to it nonetheless. I still say that we need another Hollywood style, big budget, like dark as night, fucking. Sorry, I don't mean to. I'm sorry for getting enthusiastic. I really care about Guyver, but I try not to swear too much on the channel. Even though, like, it's not really that big a deal. Like, what are they gonna do to demonetize me? Um, just like really dark as night, really gritty sci-fi, brutal action horror. I could use that, and that would be really refreshing. I think for the superhero scene to kind of break us out of the usual DC Marvel stalemates that we're used to. But yeah, I think that's it for today. That was good. That was nice chunky meaty stream, almost like 4 hours long. It's been a while since I've done like an actual big beefy stream. They've mostly been short streams, but we had plenty to check out, like the Xbox games showcase, which was actually like brutally boring, and I actually got to see Flix May Try like not be terrible. Um, and then we saw some cool trailers, and yeah, that was cool. And we watched a cool Devil May Cry video, so that'll do for now. So, things that are coming up in the future. Um, so I don't know what I'm gonna do for next Sunday. I'll try and spitball something. One Piece should be back, and that'll be cool. Other than that, I don't actually have too many plans. Um, yeah, so I don't know about next Sunday, but we got big stuff coming up because the 19th, that's a Friday, and that is the day that the last episode of Digital Circus comes to the world at large. It's already released in theaters. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but I have seen like a poster, and it shows Jax a lot. It's very Jax centric, and so I'm kind of getting the vibe that Jax is actually the secret true villain that I kind of always suspected that he was from the very beginning. Well, not the very beginning. Episode 2, there was like this moment where he was disappointed that the Candy Canyon Kingdom adventure was not as brutal as he wanted it to be. And he just seemed a little like a little psychopathic. And it is the moment that has forever made me suspicious of Jax. That, and that's also the episode where they introduced the idea that King can't always keep track of who's real and who's an NPC. And from that moment onward, I have always been suspicious of like everybody, but especially Jax. And so now that Jax is coming more and more and more to the forefront, it's making me think that there's an issue with him. Right? Because let's just think for a minute, okay? Jax, for some reason, does not want to leave the circus. Why? What would motivate someone to want to stay in the circus? Is it the idea that maybe, just maybe, there's nothing waiting for you on the other side because you're not actually a real person? Is Jax an NPC? Of course, then there's also the suspicion that nobody's actually real, that they're actually just like copies, digital copies of real people. The real people that they are based on in the real world, they've already moved on. To them, nothing's happened. They've already taken off the headsets and they're bored with the whole thing and they've gone and moved on with their lives. And so what's left behind is just a memory of who they were at that moment. And they don't even realize it. To them, they're real people. That's a theory. It's a theory that it's like a Soma situation. I haven't played Soma, but I'm familiar with the concept of like brain scans, and you have continuity with the person that you're based on. So you are that person to some extent, but now there's more than one of you. There's the real you and the one that was copied from you. So that's a thing. So yeah, Friday the 19th, I think we're actually going to go ahead and watch like the debut stream on stream. Because I saw people doing it. I saw people doing like big watch parties for the big debut of like, it was like a couple episodes ago, like episode 7 or something. And I wasn't sure how to feel about it at the time. I had never done that where I like catch something as it debuts for my stream. I felt like that was kind of, at the time, I felt like it was unethical, but if other people are doing that, then I guess it's fine. So, and by that time, I feel like maybe we'll have the next chapter of One Piece, so maybe we can check that out as well on stream, and then maybe just not even stream on the 21st. But then, after that, on the 28th, I figure we can dig into Last Flix Bender Season 2 and see if that's any better off. But for this coming week, I really need to take my rig in and get it fixed. I really got to crack the whip on myself because I said I was going to do it last week. And then I just got kind of caught up doing my own thing and I just didn't do it. That was on me. I'll admit it. That was one time when I dropped the ball and didn't do right by you guys doing what I said I was going to do. I want to try and get it fixed. I got to take my rig over. Well, first I got to go over to the local tech place and see if he's ready to work on it because he offered to do it a couple weeks ago and I just never showed up. I got to see if he's ready to do that because he is suffering from nerve damage and so his ability to work is kind of spotty. So we'll have to figure that out. And hopefully then we'll be able to get some more gaming going on. Maybe in time for next stream, maybe not. I won't promise too much, but whatever. So that's it for this stream. Thanks for checking us out. Um, yeah, just really grateful because every view, like, comment, subscription, follow, share, it all helps move us on to bigger and better things. And for now, that's gonna do it. So y'all have a good night.